welcome you all first. It's very nice to see so many of you people always attending our webinars. It's for us, it's a really encouraging way to keep on broadcasting our all the new features that we work on every day. All the technical team that is behind my back right now is working hard on all the technical features that I'm going to present today, and all the new ones that are on their way. As always, feel free to write all the questions you have in the chat box, and then we will get to them at the very end of the webinar. I will go through them, I will read them out, and then try to answer them all. Of course, if you still have questions, feel free to get in touch with us at all the contacts we have on our website, cmdbuild.org or openmail.org. So today's webinar, as I just told you, we have a lot of talk about, so let's get started right now. We will talk about the new cluster mode that we developed in CMD Build, a new password management system, which was asked by a customer, and of course we put it available to everyone. We did some GIS refactoring, and we created features for developing automatic tasks in CMD Build. We updated the BIM features. We did some optimization in JavaScript for the file recover policies directly from the browser. We had some new localization. It is really going now international, and thanks to our contributors, we'll get to them. Then we did develop a new connector with Zabbix, which we're going to talk about as well. And of course, we're just going to have a quick preview of CMD Build 3.0, our main big project that we are working on right now. That is due by the end of next year, so 2018. And you can already have a look at it. I will let you know how. So the first topic is about the CMD Build, which is now in cluster mode. So with the multiple independent Tomcat nodes, they are controlled by a load balancer. You get the availability at all times. So the functionality is always provided, even if one of these nodes stops responding. So the active nodes will take in the role, and in an absolutely transparent way for the user, which will don't know anything about the will notice, he will know, but he won't notice anything about the node going down. Of course, also this provides some scalability, so the work tasks are divided into the different nodes, and giving, of course, faster operations and faster response time, because all the requests are split into the different nodes, and of course this happens when a large number of users are sending out requests. So in this case, having several Apache Tomcat nodes working together really helps to get faster, to get the operations faster. So once before this new feature that we developed, there was only one, of course, only one Tomcat linked to the database. But now, as I just said, these new servers all share a cache, which gives the user a system which is fully functional at all time. It will never go down. Also, one other thing we did strongly related to this topic is the fact that the Postgres database is now configured in master slave mode. So all the activities that are performed on one server, on one database, sorry, are copied into the other one. So the ones that are performed in the master are then copied into the other database. So if one of the like if the master database stops working, so if it goes down, then the slave, one of the slaves database will take the master role and will become a master. So we'll have write and read settings. And Tomcat, of course, is now going to send all the requests only to that database working, and not to the previous, which was the master. Of course, also other applications that are strongly connected with the CMD Build can be clustered, such as LabFray or CMIS for the document system management, and have can work together with our new clusterization, new cluster mode that we developed in CMD Build. So let me say it again. Now, functionality is provided at all time, and you will never notice any reduce speed accessing to the database. And of course, in case it goes down, you will not lose your word. You will not even understand that it just went down. One new feature we also developed, which was a request from one of our customer who had an internal rule that they needed to change that the users that forced the users to change their passwords every once in a while with some specific characters, such as they needed to put symbols, they needed to put uppercase, lowercase letters, and so on. So they asked us to develop such features. So now it is available, new password management for the users. You can select from the administration module, you can select the length of the password, the expiration date, and how the user must set it. So how many letters, how many uppercase, lowercase, symbols, numbers. You can set that it must be different from the previous one. Sorry, that it cannot contain the username or things like that in a very easy and a simple way. I did say that it is available for everyone, this new feature, but don't worry if you don't do anything in the new CMD 2.5 as a standard, it is deactivated. So if you want to activate it in the CMD Build 2.5, which you can of course download always from SourceForge, you won't see it because it is deactivated. But if you do want it, you can activate it. So don't worry if you don't need this into your CMD Build. Okay, so this was about the new password management. Then we did also some GIS refactoring. We did some improvement on the management of the physical objects, which brought to reduce execution times and an easier data navigation. Let's see if I can show you a little bit. All right, so this is CMD Build, of course. This is just our latest version we have. I wanted just to show you, to quickly show you the new, all the new features we developed for the GIS. Well, this is a municipality in the northeastern part of Italy, close to Udine, where we live, which asked us to develop a system where they wanted to use OpenMaint, CMDBuild, well, just the same thing, for managing their public lights. So what we did is that we imported all the positions of the lights, and we created some informations about them all. Still working on it, but they allowed us to, of course, to show it during this this webinar, and they because quite common from a public administration to have a clear overview of all the elements of all their assets that they have. So they wanted to, yeah, they asked us to really to not have a problem. They told us not to be, it was not a problem at all to show these elements. That's very good. So this is about the GIS. You don't really you can appreciate the reduced execution times from switching from one element to the other. Probably now the connection through for the webinar is a bit slow, but we did a lot of improvement on this, and there's overall an easier data navigations. Okay, so going back to the going back to the to our presentation. We just talked about the JS refactoring. So now let's get to the next topic, which is the extension of the task manager type. So the CMD Build task manager is configurable. You can access it from the administration module. And now this includes a new type of task, which can be used to schedule automatic sending of emails, even attaching a report to it. So this is there is a very easy to use configuration wizard from where it is possible to specify the mail recipient. So of course the person you want or the category of the staff or of the people working in the company that need to receive the report, the template, which you can configure just as the other email templates from the administration module, and also the scheduling criteria. You can, of course, define the context for the calculation of the report, which is again automatically generated and sent via email. For example, it is possible to send a report with the content depending from the time the task was executed, which is automatically, of course, calculated by the task manager. It could be synchronized to a specific trigger event, or of course this task manager can work in a non-synchronized way and be triggered by a schedule or a manual user input from task manager from the classic CMD Build phase. What we also did was an upgrading of the BIM features, the BIM, which is a very important element in OpenMay, but as well in, of course, in CMD Build too. So the BIM capabilities can now support the ICF4 format, which is, of course, the last version of the Revit format, and the BIM Server 1.5. So, which is of course the latest version of BIM Server. So now the viewer, let me just share the screen with you. Where I was saying the viewer can see, can have a way better. Hope you see my screen. So this just as you can see, it's way better visualization of the BIM server. This is a IFC4 file that we just imported. You can see the shades here, which or here, which of course change depending on the visualization. So it's definitely a see even here. There's a way better, well, messed up a bit, but no worries, you can always go back and select, and also, or in this case, I just selected the floor, the roof, in order to retrieve some information about it. And then of course you can also work on transparency. So isolate only the elements you wish to see and remove all the others, of course. So it's just a new features that we developed. So way more attractive, more interesting way of seeing the BIM objects that you can in absolutely easy way port into OpenMail. So this is a new feature we wanted to develop. So all right, let's get back to the presentation. Okay, very good. So this 3D visualization I just saw just way better than what it was before. All right, so then we also some optimization on the JavaScript file recovery policies from the browser. Of course, working on CMD Build, developing new features. Of course, creates more elements of more JavaScript files into the user interface. So the initial time for the first access to the application starting to become a little bit too long. So what we did, we worked on the optimization of these JavaScript files. What we did was that the sources now reorganized into much smaller number of files with the great optimization of loading times. So moreover, using Apache, we wanted to use Apache as a front end to allow further optimization for the transfer on these additional modules, which basically what they do is they just compress the JavaScript files before loading them. So they load compressed the packed JavaScript files. And this happens using Apache. So this way we dramatically reduced the login times. If you're just about to download a new version of CMD Build 2.5, you can do this quick test. You clear all the cache, do your login, and check how long it takes to log in for the first application for the first time, and then write that number down, and then install the CMD Build 2.5 and do the same thing. You will see it's like 1/3 of the time. It's really fast. And it's really was a huge improvement that we did. So definitely do this to appreciate it. All right, as I was saying, CMD Build is a international worldwide project next year, 2018, just as we did in 2016. What we're going to do is the CMD Build Day, which is a really great opportunity from users, from customers that we have all over the world to interact with each other, to present their case studies, and to discover, for us to present the new features of CMD Build, and to gather all these people. Of course, years and years ago, we used to do this for example, in Rome or in Bologna, but of course now it wouldn't be possible to gather all the customers that we have all over the world just in one place. So what we do is that we want to bring the most people together, and what we do is going to be an online webinar for the full day. It's going to be a great CMD Build day, but you will definitely get some information about it on either newsletter or on our website. So don't stay tuned. This will happen in late summer, so stay tuned and we'll get plenty of information about it. Also, what we did is now that we got some other localization, so CMD Build is now translated into more than 20 languages, which really makes the project really available for a lot of people. It's a really international international project. You can just see here the languages in which CMD Build is translated. Also, of course, OpenMate is translated in a lot of languages as well. The mobile app, we're really in 2018, we're really putting the putting the boost on the going international even more than what we are just now. All right, so for the almost last topic of the day is the connector with Zabbix. A lot of customer asked us to make Zabbix interact with the CMD Build, or I should say the other way around, CMD Build interact with Zabbix. So what our tool does is just takes the alarm from Zabbix, which is of course an open source tool that is used to monitor, for example, networks or other information systems, and to automatically report any malfunctions or any problems, triggering an alarm. This alarm, as I was saying, through a connector which we specifically developed, has been tested and is now working. So through a synchronous execution, just as we were talking before, synchronous means triggered, in this case by Zabbix alarm. CMD Build takes this notification, and of course, which are of particular interest of CMD Build ready to use. So the pre-configured instance for the IT management systems. And CMD Build, so it works fine with CMD Build as well. And even if with OpenMate, if someone is also managing their IT systems in OpenMate. So CMD Build reuse or CMD Build collects the information and manage this information for, of course, the for your own IT governance. Through the CMD Build Advanced Connector, the framework through which we built the connector with Zabbix, all the notifications are collected with an API 3.0. Then there's a summary report. There is a PDF attached to an email that is being sent to the person responsible for that asset. For the category of assets, of course. So there's a notification. So it's not just an alarm with very few information, which is what actually Zabbix does. Just sends an alarm with a few information. CMD Build basically collects this alarm and puts together all the information that are stored into its database, and give plenty of information to the user, or can even take another or can take another role, another path, which the automatic start of an incident management workflow in case some conditions happen. So it's really a great way to improvement for us and for Zabbix as well. It's really a mutual benefit, which a lot of people asked us to develop, and now we did. Okay, so going to the last topic before your questions is about CMD Build 3.0. So you can go on demo3, of course, .cmdbuild.org, and just enter username and password, which is demo. You can select your language. So far, we just translate this into 3 different languages, so English, Italian, and Spanish, and you are into the CMD Build 3.0. So you can see it's completely refurbished user interface, much more modern, much more eye-catching as well. Our previous interface started to feel the edges a little bit, so now we definitely improved this. As I was saying, CMD 3.0 is due before the end of the year starting in 2 weeks, so before 2018, at the end of 2018. But the new version's goal was not just to refurbish the interface, not just to make it more more modern, as I was saying, but also rewrite the completely user interface. It's been completely rewritten, and in order to, of course, in order to match the graphic aspects of the latest web design trends. But also we did implement a lot of new configurations mechanisms and new features. We are definitely going to do a webinar specifically focused on CMD Build 3.0. So far we did, I can tell you that the client side is going to be completely rewritten, and there's going to be a lot of new features on the server side design. There will be an implementation of the native multi-tenant system. So here, right, you don't see it right now, but here in the top right of the corner, there's going to be a multi-tenant button. You will just click to access to the multi-tenant version of CMD Build. So if you will be able to use CMD Build into different companies, sharing the same tool, but having access to different parts of the database. Of course, there will be an extension of the workflow systems. So now it will be able to work with the Java libraries to facilitate reuse and testing. And of course, we're going also to do the migration to, meanwhile that I speak, I'm showing you how it looks like. The migration, I was saying, to Sharp 6. For example, there will be a support for the user preference saving, so like placement on access or sorting and configuration of data grids or localizations or of date and currency or things like that. It will have a you will be able to save the preferences. There will be new type of attributes such as the multi-select lookup, the formula attributes. For example, in case you need to visualize data that has been calculated from other archives, for example, through a SQL extension language. There will be a support in the navigation of CMD Build, having set a previous date to set information valid. So there will be data import from standard CSV files in merge mode, as well in add mode. And there will be, well, I could go on forever explaining you all the features that we did. For now, you just see there's well, the new layout of the, well, these not implemented into the demo version yet, but from now you can already see what it looks like, and of course you can have already an idea of what the user interface is going to look like. It's very interesting that because we collect a lot of feedbacks from our users, and we try to put them all together in order to come out to this new version of CMD Build, CMD Build 3.0. So of course, if you still have, if you want to share with us some feedback, some specific requests you would like to have, feel very, very, very free to do this, and you can do this at the contacts that you're seeing right here. It's just about Christmas, just about around the corner. I hope you have enjoyed really good Christmas holidays. Let's definitely talk in the 2018, which will be a year full of new release for CMD Build, of course, which will end with the CMD Build 3.0. We will have the CMD Build Day. It's going to be a great year. All right, so I saw that there were some questions passing by during the webinar, so I'm going to answer them right now. And once again, yeah, happy Christmas and buon Natale to everyone.